if you are looking to be able to sell your residential property with a good growth. Hello everyone, I'm Junping. Today we're going to talk about should PLH flats be your first choice. Before we start the video, please hit the subscribe button and the notification button so that you don't miss any of my videos. Let's go! You might have heard from your friends or relative that when they strike lottery, when they have gotten a good ballot number for the prime location HDB BTOs. So upon the MOP of such flats, there is actually a good chance that these prime estates flat owners will actually be able to sell off the unit for a very good price, and thus the lottery effect. While these flats are popular for BTO buyers, they also commanded a premium price comparing to the rest of the BTO lodges. The price tag have actually deterred many interested buyers who did not have such a high budget, and only those who were wealthier could afford these flats. So this is what we know from the past, and HDB has actually noticed this as well. They have actually their concerns, and this is why the PLH model was born. Here is a short summary of the PLH model. More information and details are available on the HDB website. So for MOP, instead of 5 years, it's actually being adjusted to 10 years. For resale buyers, you will have to also meet the prevailing eligibility considerations as per buying a HDB BTO. You are also not allowed to rent out the entire unit even after your MOP is met. You can only rent out the spare rooms. Lastly, the subsidiary recovery. Subsidies that are actually given to you will have to be clawed back by the HDB upon selling the PLH BTO. So coming to my topic today of whether PLH flats should be a first choice. Here are some food for thoughts if you are considering. Under the PLH mode, more Singaporeans have access and affordability to these BTO flats. The number of interested buyers will definitely increase. Surely you will agree that the chances of getting these flats will naturally be lower. And if PLH flats is your first choice, you got to make considerations of what if you do not get the flat, since now that you're competing with more people for the same project. In fact, the usual BTO projects are already usually oversubscribed, let alone the popular PLH flats. As we know, PLH model flats have a 10 years MOP. This means to say, you at least take 15 years later for you to buy your second residential property, inclusive of the construction time. Say if you're 25 years old today, the next time you can consider to upgrade your house or to buy a second residential property will be when you're at least 40 years old. But while non-PLH flats will MOP when you are 35 years old. The difference of 5 years can affect the loan amount that you can get to upgrade to your next property. So if you are looking to stay and upgrade after your MOP, the PLH model might not be suitable for you. Let's put this into perspective. A Pinnacle at Duxton MOP'd around 2015, and based on the past transactions, the transacted price can range about from 800,000 plus all the way to $1 million plus. So in May this year, a HDB in Bishan has actually sold for $1.36 million. With that, we can safely assume that the upcoming Rochor BTO will likely be able to fetch about $1.3 to $1.4 million in the resale market. So say for example, if you're buying this PLH BTO on the resale market for $1.3 million, and based on MAS ruling, the mortgage servicing ratio or MSR is capped at 30% of the borrower's gross monthly income. Assuming you can get 90% max loan from HDB, which is $1.17 million, the estimated monthly installment will come out to about $5,308. And based on 30% MSR, the combined income that you and your spouse should be around $17,693. $17,693. Do you know you can actually afford a $3 million condo? So between buying a $1.3 million HDB versus buying a $3 million condo, which one do you think will be a better profit? Furthermore, you can sell your condo after 3 years without the seller's stamp duty, but you will still be subjected to the subsidiary recovery when you sell your PLH flats after 10 years. According to the condition of the PLH model, your potential resale buyers will have to meet the prevailing eligibility considerations as applying for a new BTO flat. This include to have at least one applicant to be a Singapore citizen, to have an eligible family nucleus, a prevailing income ceiling of 14,000, and not owning a private property in the last 30 months. Personally, I think that will be quite a challenge to sell the PLH flats because the conditions that are laid out for your potential buyers. Based on my calculation above, to buy a flat at $1.3 million, your buyers will need to have a combined income of $17,693. That alone will disqualify a lot of buyers from buying. To fulfill these conditions, would you agree to say that you will have to lower your selling price in order for the buyers to be able to buy? Will you be able to do it? So I've done a growth experiment with Pinnacle at Duxton and a private condo in Bukit Panjang to compare the price growth of the different property types. And here is what we got. The blue line represents the private condo and the orange line represents the Pinnacle at Duxton. As you can see from the growth rate between the two properties are vastly different. And the growth rate that the private condo has is almost double of Pinnacle at Duxton. So what this depicts is that while prime estate flats will maintain their flats relatively well, they do not experience exponential growth like private properties. This could be a concern if you are looking to be able to sell your residential property with a good growth. So while prime estate flats sound appealing at the start, it may not be the best for asset progression and growth. If you are exploring alternatives from the PLH BTO flats, do contact me and I can show you what your options can be. So that's all for today. If you have any topics or questions that you wish to talk about, please leave them in comments below. If not, I'll see you again soon. Bye bye!